Dear friends, the topic for today is parents' role in her passing the civil services examination or IPS examination by D. Ruba IPS of 2000 cadre batch. Excerpts from an interview that she has given, and Miss D. Ruba IPS, she hails from Karnataka. She completed her graduation from Karnataka University, that is Kuvempu University, with a gold medal. Post graduation MA in psychology from Bangalore University. She is well versed with the Hindustani classical music and trained Bharatanatyam dancer. And she is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer. She cracked a civil services examination in 2000 with All India rank of 43. She was allotted her home cadre, that is the Karnataka cadre. She is married to an IAS officer, Munish Motkil, in 2003. He is an IIT Bombay alumni. She has two children. She became very famous in 2007 when she had been given the role of arresting the then Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister and former Union Minister Uma Bharati in relation to a court case in Hubli. She became the first lady officer, police officer in the nation to head the cybercrime police division in 2013, and she has also been awarded the President's Police Medal for meritorious service in 2016. She served as Home Secretary, Prisons, Crime and Auxiliary Services, and she is the first woman to hold the Home Secretary position in the state. She is in the IG cadre now. Presently, she is the Managing Director of Karnataka State Handicrafts Development Corporation. Now, let us listen to the excerpts from an interview that she has given and her parents' role in her passing the civil services or IPS examination.
My name is Rupa, and my father's name is Divakar. My mother is Himavati, and in South Karnataka, we used to have this tradition of keeping only the initials, and therefore my name is Rupa D. That's Rupa Divakar. I also hail from a small town called Davangere, which again starts with D. Davangere is in central Karnataka, and when I grew up, for most part of it, till I graduated, the town remained a taluka headquarter. So we really did not see any DC office or SP office, or never heard that DC or SP had come. We had never seen any big officer, district level officer, and therefore it's very interesting as to how from a small town, those days, that too when yes, nowadays a lot of people from Karnataka write civil service exam, but those were the days when Karnataka people would often go for medical or engineering. Those were the only two careers of the choice of most people, and that is also because there are a lot of engineering and medical colleges in Karnataka compared to other states. Actually, it was my father who gave me this dream of writing civil service exam. It so happened that once, in when I was studying in class 3, my class teacher asked the whole class, "Children, what do you all want to become when you grow up? Don't tell me now. Go home, discuss with your parents, come back and tell me tomorrow." So we all went home. We asked our parents. I first asked my mother. My mother is also a working woman, was a working woman. She was working as superintendent posts. When I asked her, she said, "Well, I want you to be a doctor." But somehow that didn't really interest me. And then I waited for my father to come home. And when he came, I asked him, "What should I be?" So he said, "Well, there's something called IAS, IPS, and it's a common exam conducted. And depending on your merit and depending on your choice, you get the services. So you be either one of them. Like if you become," then he explained to me, I was 8 year old then, he explained what one becomes when one gets IAS, one becomes DC, which is also called as DM in many other states, and what does he do. And if one becomes IPS, what is the designation? The designation is called the SP, and he or she will be the head of the whole district, and so on. So this really interested me because I thought, well, this must be some kind of leadership role. It immediately appealed, and I remembered it. IAS, IPS. I even the acronym, I got it expanded, the abbreviation, and I went and told the class next day that I want to be an IAS or an IPS, and I was the only one who gave this answer. So the teacher made everybody applaud for me. And then this act, of the teacher making everybody applaud to my answer, that itself acted as reinforcement because I thought, oh well, this must be really something big because nobody has told this answer, and teacher has made everybody applaud. So this is how I think teachers can also motivate students from the beginning. It really has a big impact on children's minds. And we often think that, even as parents, even I'm a parent now, when I talk to many other parents, when we ask them what your children want to do, have you told them, they keep saying, well, let's see what they want to become. It's their choice. Fine, it's their choice, but I think you have to give them something on the platter to start with. At least if you say, well, beta, you have to become this or that, then it somewhere starts as an acting point ki kuch to banna hai. They have to become something in life. If not this, something else, but they will start working towards it. Better is to give a perfect goal. If they like it, they take it and they work on it. Otherwise, give them something that, well, you become this. It will act as some starting point, some standard of reference, and it will have a big impact on them. So after this, I deeply thought about it that I should become this only. And then I joined NCC, National Cadet Corps, in 8th standard. And in 9th standard, I got selected for attending Republic Day camp at Delhi, which is a very prestigious camp. And from Karnataka contingent, about 100 people got selected. Every year, about 100 people from every contingent go there. And of those 100, about 8 only were from high school girls. So I was among the 8 high school girls that were selected from whole of Karnataka. So you can imagine what was the competition level. And also it involved 5 to 6 layers of selection. So I attended this camp, and that was again a big turning point because I was selected as the best cadet, and I had to give general knowledge exams, tests for that. That was an extra thing apart from a general cadet. So for a best cadet, one had to be good in everything: shooting, culturals, everything, and including the GK. So they had also given us certain books and magazines to prepare for the GK, general knowledge. One of those magazines was Competition Success Review, which used to carry interviews of the toppers those days. This magazine was there, and that was the first time I got a glimpse of what it is to be as an IAS or an IPS, and how this exam is all about. What are the subjects, how do you attempt them, etc. Because my father, of course, told me that I have to become an IAS or an IPS, basically a civil servant, but he never mentioned what are the subjects or how to approach and such things, because he really did not know it. And in the place where I was growing up, not many, or rather nobody in my vicinity knew about these services. So whom do I ask? So this was my first hand information. And then so that was in January month. Whole month was spent in Garrison Parade Ground tents in Delhi. So that was the time when I read all these magazines and interviews, and I decided, well, I'll take up psychology and sociology as my subjects because I was interested in such topics. So I thought I'll choose these and write this exam. So after 10th, I came back from the Republic Day camp, then 9th exam over, 10th exam also over. 10th exam, I got very good marks. I got, in fact, 23rd rank for the whole state. Mine was state syllabus school, and for the state I got 23rd rank. In spite of it, I chose arts for 11th. Many were shocked because I had got 100% in maths and 98 in science. In spite of it, I chose arts, the humanities. And my own teachers said, "Well, why do you want to do this? If you study at the same rate, same way, you are definitely going to make it to medical or engineering." And as it is in Karnataka, whoever goes into gets selected for these various prestigious camps through NCC, there is NCC quota for medical and engineering seats. So even that way, my path towards these entrance to these colleges would have been very easy. So everybody said that. In fact, my father also was like a little bit upset. Why I have chosen arts? But my mother supported me. I told both my parents, well, this is what I want to do. I do not want to be a doctor or an engineer. And when I'm totally not interested in these careers, what is the point in studying? So I somehow had this clarity, and greatly my mother supported me, and later my father also supported.